Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Nirmat Pranam. I am
Yes.
looking for password. I'm trying to join from my computer, but I need the password. What is the password?
Oh, what password? There's no password actually.
Enter meeting password.
Is it?
I'm trying to. It's my work computer. You know what I'm saying? It's my work computer. So.
Oh, try this one. 09.
Oh, sorry. I exited already. My bad. Okay, join meeting. Okay, join. Okay, 09
8033.
8033.
Does that work?
Perfect. It's connecting. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Right. I'm gonna have to write that down. I appreciate it.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Okay,
Hare Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Welcome. How are both of you doing?
Good,
Doing good, Prabhuji.
How are you?
Good. It's pretty cold here.
Yeah.
Was it colder there where you were coming from?
Prabhuji, it was extremely cold. It was like in centigrades, it was like -21 the day we left.
Oh, wow. It's a little bit warmer now.
Yeah, it is. The day we came here, it was like 18 degrees Celsius that day. So we came in from -21 to plus 18 in the next
plus
day.
21.
Plus 21, you could say that.
That's warmer. That's good.
That's a lot warmer. Certainly appreciate that.
Nice, Prabhuji. Okay, let's start, Prabhu. So let me share my screen. Okay. Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya 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 Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janna Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Vardhana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vardhana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vardhana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vardhana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajana Yashodanandana Brajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajanarandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Srila Guru Deva Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंसा परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंसा परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की जय। तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय। भक्त वृंद की जय। Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution and Prasadam Distribution की जय। नाम संकीर्तन की जय। Hita Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Bhakti. Hare Krishna, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Nice to see all of you. We have a contingent from Chicago. Hari Bol.
Hare Bol.
We also have my mom from India. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
And we have Sai Prabhu. Hari Bol. Nice to see you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
We have Lakshmi Mataji, Shal. We have our special guests. We have Renuka Mataji and Abhinav Prabhu. They came this McKinney. Hare Krishna. Welcome.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
And we also have Mitul Bhai and his entire family there. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. So last week we started on chapter 7, and Bhakti Priya Mataji, if you can give us a quick summary of where we left off, please.
So Hare Krishna, everyone. So we read through the text number 1, where Krishna starts explaining Arjuna what is the best way to practice Krishna. What is the best yoga? So, and he starts with listen to me, hear me. Sorry, my screen went off. I have to get back. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. So he's saying just by practicing in full consciousness of him, with mind attached, we can understand him without any doubt, in full and without any doubt. So that's what the translation says. Srila Prabhupada emphasized a lot of things in this purport. We have learned Bhagavatam slokas, the process of bhakti, multiple steps, from one step to another step, multiple steps, and then we tried to understand about the importance of hearing. That is the first step in bhakti yoga. We have to carefully hear. Through hearing only, we will reach God. Even when we are chanting, we should hear the holy names with our ears. Like when we chant loud, we should hear what we are chanting. So, it will go to the heart and cause transformation. So that's all I remember. If you want to add anything from?
Very nice point, Mataji, on the hearing. So one more important point which Srila Prabhupada wanted us to read was from this point in Srimad Bhagavatam about the process to understand Krishna. So to hear about Krishna, so how do we hear? Like Mataji was saying, we hear him directly first from the Vedic literatures. So Vedic literatures are like the Bhagavad Gita, which we are all going to read today, and Bhagavatam. And the other part is when we actually chant the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama. So this vibration, sound vibration, is coming all the way from the transcendental world. And this is not an ordinary material sound. Like all these sounds which we make, right? All we hear in Bollywood songs or whatever we are hearing around, that is all material sounds. However, the sound which we hear, the sound vibration which we hear from the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it's coming all the way from Golok Vrindavan, right? So it says Golokera Premadhana, Golokera's Premadhan, right? Premadhan is Harinam Sankirtan. So it's coming all the way from Goloka Vrindavan. And the sound vibration which is coming out from Krishna's flute is said to be the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And why do we need to hear this, right? So Nainika asked this question last time, like, why is it so important to hear? When you hear the sound vibration, it goes into our heart, and this was also another point, right? Like, it enables us at once to come to the stage of asamshayam samagram. So what this means is we already have bhakti in our hearts, but we have actually forgotten that. We are in a state of forgetfulness. So how do we revive? We revive that by the sound vibration. So that's the important point. Okay, so now, so this chapter 7 is Bhakti Yoga, and it is a concise, that is basically, if you see a sandwich, it's the middle portion. The middle portion of Bhagavad Gita is like, the core or the crux of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so we will read from verse 2. Sai Prabhu, would you like to read, please?
Jnanam teham savijnanam.
Jnanam teham savijnanam.
Idam vakshyami asheshataha.
Idam vakshyami asheshataha.
Yagnatva neha bhuyonyaz.
Yagnatva neha bhuyonyaj.
Gnanatavyam avasishyate.
Jnanatavyam avashishyate. Go ahead, Prabhuji.
I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Purport: Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Complete knowledge includes knowledge of phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. This is transcendental knowledge. The Lord wants to explain the above mentioned system of knowledge because Arjuna is Krishna's confidential devotee and friend. In the beginning of 4th chapter, this explanation was given by the Lord, and it is again confirmed here. Complete knowledge can be achieved only by the devotee of the Lord in disciplic succession directly from the Lord. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to know the source of all knowledge, who is the cause of all causes, and the only object for meditation in all types of yoga practice. When the cause of all causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known, and nothing remains unknown. The Vedas says, Kashmin yu bhagavo vignate sarvam idam vignatam bhavatiti.
Yes, Prabhuji, please share any point which stuck to you. Sai Prabhu, anything which you got?
So the main point I learned is that the complete knowledge can be achieved only by the devotee of the Lord in disciplic succession directly from the Lord.
Yes, exactly. So that's a very, very important point. So disciplic succession is very important. Whom we hear from, right? So somebody can say that, well, we have the Bhagavad Gita, we have read the entire Bhagavad Gita. Now I am an expert and I'm now going to become a guru, right? That is not, somebody who can actually say that, they have experienced bhakti. So bhakti is about experiencing, right? And how do you experience that is by disciplic succession. So in Vedic times, right, in ancient India too, the only way of Vedic knowledge which was transferred is by hearing, right, by Shruti, right? And now we have so many, like fake gurus, right, who have just now saying that, now they are God. But what's important is all these devotees or disciplic succession, they are messengers of Krishna, right? Messengers of the same knowledge which was transmitted 5,000 years ago. Like what Krishna is also saying to Arjuna in chapter 4, he said that the knowledge which I'm giving to you now is the same knowledge which I had given to the sun god, right? I am not changing any knowledge, it's the same knowledge. And what is this knowledge? This transcendental knowledge is these three things. Knowledge of the phenomenal world. How was this material world created? Who is the spirit behind it, right? Like where did that energy come from? And the source of both of them. Basically the spirit, the material world, and what is the source. So that is the transcendental knowledge. Also very important thing is who we are, who is Krishna, and what is our relationship with Krishna. So all this transcendental knowledge we can only understand when we hear from a confidential devotee of the Lord. And because we are reading Bhagavad Gita as it is. Now, why is it as it is? Because Srila Prabhupada is not changing the knowledge which is coming from Krishna. The same conversation which happened between Lord Shri Krishna and Arjuna on that battlefield, that same knowledge is being transmitted in Bhagavad Gita as it is. Many times, when we read other editions of Bhagavad Gita, people try to have a lot of analogies, right?
And their own opinion.
And their own opinions, yeah. So here we are not, adding anything, right? We are only taking what was given by Lord Shri Krishna. So that's why very important to hear in the right disciplic succession directly coming from Krishna. So that's the most important. Thank you, Prabhu. Any points? Any other discussions or points? Any questions? Nainika, do you have any question?
No, sir.
Vishal, you asked some really good questions. Okay, we're waiting for those good questions. It makes us all think. Okay, so let's move.
Can I add one point, Prabhuji, in the previous one?
Please.
So, in the purport, in the last line of the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, right, when the cause of all causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known and nothing remains unknown. So, to easily understand this point, there was an analogy Srila Prabhupada gives. I just wanted to share, to be easy. So, for example, at night, when we stand up, when we stand and there is no lights in the city, we cannot see anything, right? But as soon as sunlight comes, we can see the sunlight, we can see the sky, we can see the city, we can see the streets, we we can see everything that is underneath the sunlight. So just like that. So this is one example Srila Prabhupada gave. So I wanted to share. So when the cause of all causes becomes known, so if sunlight is like Krishna, when we understand him, then everything underneath, everything that he created becomes known to us. Just like how we can see everything when there is sunlight. So just wanted to share that point.
Very nice point. It's a very nice point. Did you both understand?
Yeah.
That point? So
like if Krishna's the sun, like all underneath, like if Krishna's in the spiritual world, like earth basically is what
you will learn. So here, take the example of this room, right? So let's say if the room was turned off, right? It was completely dark.
Yeah,
you cannot see anything, correct? But as soon as you have even a small night light, are you able to
even
start
like the computer light
or computer light? You're able to see everything, right? So what the point which Mataji was making was, when the cause of all causes, as soon as we understand Krishna, he's like this light, right? Everything gets lit. You get to understand everything. Nice. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for bringing up. Okay, so let's move to next verse, and let's have Abhinav Prabhu. Why don't you read?
Manusyanan susahareshu kaschid yatati siddhyaye yatatamam api siddhanan kaschin me vetti tatavaha. Translation: out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's break this down before we go into the purport. So this is Krishna saying to Arjuna, right? He's saying, out of many thousands among men, so there are 1,000 men, one person out of that will endeavor for perfection. What is perfection mean?
what does endeavor we'll try
Try. Endeavor is he's trying for perfection. What is a perfection?
like everything he wants to do perfectly.
No. So yeah, that is good. But here, what the meaning of perfection is, that they're trying to understand
Krishna.
who is Krishna, right? Who we are, who is Krishna. They're trying to endeavor, like they're trying to understand, who are we? Why are we here in this material world, right? What is going to happen to me after I die? Like we are working so hard, right? We are setting up this house, we are coming here, we are working, taking care of, so many different activities. So this person is thinking, why am I doing all these things? What is this perfection? What am I endeavoring for? So out of many thousand men, one may endeavor for perfection. And then out of those who have achieved perfection, hardly
Out, and it doesn't say out.
and of those, thank you. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth.
What?
So even though they are trying very hard, out of that, only one person knows me in truth. So is it easy to know Krishna?
Hardly one knows. Hardly, not even one.
Not even one. So it's very hard. So is it easy to know Krishna or hard to know Krishna?
Very hard.
Very hard. Very
As hard as it can get.
Very hard. So what do you think? What do you think? How can we understand Krishna? That's the question. Before we read the purport. Yes, okay, Vivan.
Maybe like trying to like one day, like when you keep serving Krishna and you keep chanting and you keep trying to do like deity worship and things, maybe Krishna will like reveal like something.
Okay, but why? Why will he reveal?
Because you're so devoted to him.
Okay, and what will happen when you're serving? Let us say, somebody's serving you, right?
Oh, you'll feel happy?
You'll feel happy, right? You're pleasing. You're trying to please Krishna. With our entire life, you're trying to please Krishna. So when we please Krishna, then it is not like if you do these activities, okay, these 10 things, if you do like a list, then I will know Krishna. No, that is not the point.
You have to keep doing it.
You have to serve Krishna, and then one day, Krishna himself will have that mercy. Like when somebody's doing, yes, Mummy, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to supplement that, if we are very happy with ourselves, we keep doing the right things, speak the truth, and, always be faithful for everything, then that is where, we are going to get Krishna.
Yes. And the main point is that when you serve somebody, then automatically that person becomes very, very pleased with you. And when
with good habits, if we have good habits, automatically we become closer and we have faith towards Krishna.
Right. And when somebody gets pleased, then that mercy flows.
Exactly.
Then, that's why service is very important. Doing the right service in the right mood. Okay, so let's now see what Srila Prabhupada has to tell us. Okay, Prabhuji. Oh, sorry.
There are various grades of men. I think Prabhuji scrolled a little more. Yeah, it's good now.
Good,
there
okay.
are various grades of men, and out of many thousands, one may be sufficiently interested in transcendental realization to try to know what is self, what is the body, and what is the absolute truth. Generally, mankind is simply engaged in the animal propensities, namely eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. And hardly anyone is interested in transcendental knowledge.
Okay, wait, let's stop here. Why has Srila Prabhupada said animal propensities?
What does propensities mean?
Animal nature. People are generally engaged in animal natures. And what are the four natures? He says eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. Mating is, you're making babies. So why has Srila Prabhupada here said that this is animal nature, animal propensities? I'm going to ask Vishal. So Vishal, why has Srila Prabhupada here said that people are generally engaged in these animal propensities? What is your favorite animal?
A tiger?
A tiger, okay. So does a tiger eat?
Yes.
Does the tiger sleep?
Yes.
Does the tiger defend itself if some other tiger comes?
Yes.
And does the tiger have babies?
Yes.
What else does a tiger do?
Fight.
Which is not covered. Okay, that's eating.
That's it.
That's it, right? And if you do these same four things, how does it make you different from an animal? Right? So that's what Srila Prabhupada here is trying to explain. That somebody who is just doing these four things, it's as good as an animal, right? But what we have different is our brain, right? For us to think. Okay, Nanika, do you have a question? Yes.
Aren't we all like mammals?
Yes.
So technically we are similar to animals, right?
Well, is a fish a mammal?
Oh,
Yes.
No.
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 Fish is
Oh,
not
yeah,
a
yeah.
mammal. How can I?
But dolphins, whales.
Does a fish do all these four things, Nanika?
well, some animals are mammals.
Okay, the question. We moved on to the next question already. Does a fish do all these four things?
Hang on. You all are kind of misunderstanding. Look, regardless
Which
of
is
whether
classified under animals only. Pieces.
it's always an animal, right? Yeah, mammal's a type of animal itself. There are many different, no matter what type of creature, like if you're an arachnid, if you're an amphibian, no matter what you are, if you're an animal, you do these four propensities, right? All the time.
Exactly.
The main thing that Prabhupada's trying to tell here is that if these are the only activities that are really like striving throughout your that are really striving your focus, rather than Krishna consciousness, that makes you
Animal.
no better than an animal.
Right.
Exactly. It makes you know better. That's the right way to put it.
Yeah, wonderful.
You're engaged in the animal propensities and it makes you know better than an animal.
Yeah.
Okay. And hardly anyone is interested in transcendental knowledge. Okay. So everyone good so far?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Prabhuji, can I add, because it's in the context of that, we should complete the loop on that. So, okay, we stopped it. We are no better than animal if we do only these 4 things. But what can we do that will make us different from animals?
Yes, please tell us.
We should also add that point. So, because we have intelligence,
That's what I was gonna say.
right, Nana?
Different and better. Different and better.
Right. So what we do is we inquire about higher presence.
Yes.
So that is our that is the only human being can do that. Animal cannot do that. Only human being, because we can talk, we can take care of other people, right? We can chant, we can discuss, we can contemplate, we can introspect, we can do all these things other that is different from what animals do. So that makes us intelligent beings, that makes us very fortunate, and we should take to the inquiry of higher presence.
So should we take advantage of our situation, or should we just keep doing these 4 things?
Take advantage of it.
Take advantage.
Take advantage.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
That's it.
All right. Thank you. Okay, Prabhuji, let's move forward.
Sure. The first 6 chapters of Gita are meant for those who are interested in transcendental knowledge, in understanding the self, the super self, and the process of realization by Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and discrimination of the self from matter. However, Krishna can be known only by persons who are in Krishna consciousness. Other transcendentalists may achieve impersonal Brahman realization, for this is easier than understanding Krishna. Krishna is the supreme person, but at the same time, he is beyond the knowledge of Brahman and Paramatma. The yogis and jnanis are confused in their attempts to understand Krishna. Although the greatest of the impersonalists, Sripada Sankaracharya, has admitted in his Gita commentary that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, his followers do not accept Krishna as such, for it is very difficult to know Krishna, even though one has transcendental realization of impersonal Brahman.
So we covered some parts of this in our last
conversation.
So in our last discussion, Bhakti Priya Mataji gave this example of the sun light, the sun planet, and the sun god, right? So those are the 3 aspects of Krishna. Krishna, when he is in his, so we have Krishna, the personal form of Krishna. We have Krishna in everyone's heart, right? That is a Paramatma. And the effulgence of Krishna, right? When Krishna is as brilliant as millions of suns. So can we see the sun directly from the eyes?
No.
So Krishna.
Yeah.
Who said yeah?
Me.
Is that Vishal?
Yes.
And if you continuously see the sun with your eyes, what's going to happen?
My eyes don't hurt, but my vision gets dark.
Yes, exactly. So it's
Your eyes do hurt and you get blind.
Yeah. So it's very difficult for us to see the sun, right? So similarly, we have Krishna. Similarly, we have Krishna, who is so effulgent that you cannot see see Krishna with it. That effulgence of Krishna is called the Brahman realization. So we have many, they're called impersonalists. We have many impersonalists who are trying to achieve that we want to merge into the Brahman, right? Like nothing, void. We want to merge into the void, right? Voidism. So those are the 3 things which Srila Prabhupada is trying to explain: Brahman, Paramatma, and Krishna or Bhagavan.
Actually, I don't have any.
Yes, Vivan, you have a question.
So, what's like an impersonalist, and who is Sripad Shankaracharya?
Okay, so impersonalist. So who is a person? Are we all people?
Yes.
Right. So,
You're also a person.
Thank you. So when we are actually having relations with each other, then we are personal, right? Nowadays, we have lot of friends who we don't know a lot about them, right? So we say, oh, this is an impersonal relation, right? Like we don't know much about them. So if you want to, when you want to know somebody, let's say, who's your best friend, Parth?
Yeah.
You might have to mute, Mummy. You might have to mute yourself. Sorry.
Sorry?
You might have to mute yourself.
Okay.
Okay, so Parth, who's your best friend?
Agam.
Okay, Agrim. So to know Agrim, do you need to know what he likes, what he doesn't like, what his favorite food is, what his color is, what's his favorite sport, right? So same way to know Krishna, you want to have a personal relation. So we want to understand, what does Krishna like? What does Krishna like to play,
Butter.
right? He likes to eat butter. So that is called personalism. Okay, we're being personal. with
Butter
Krishna.
and ghee, actually.
Okay,
Mostly butter.
yeah. So let's move
No, and
forward.
then what
Prabhuji.
are impersonalists again?
Those are people who don't have that personal connection, right? Who want to merge into.
So like somebody in a different grade or like in a different class in school.
Yeah. So like let us say somebody in your different class, you know the name of that person, but you don't know what he likes, what he doesn't like.
Like Ethan, basically.
Like Ethan, okay.
Basically.
Can
Right?
I answer that question for Parth?
Yes, Mataji.
So the impersonalism means they think Krishna is some energy or some air, or there is something in the sky. They don't think Krishna is a person like us. So those are impersonalist.
Yeah.
So
you were saying
impersonalists
away
think
from
that
it.
Krishna's not a real person. It's just like some small thing.
Some energy. They think that he is some cosmos, some energy, some cloud, something. They think like that.
Yeah.
So I, sorry for that, but
Yes.
for that thoughts and the way you have presented it, I just want to say, so simple thing like this, is Krishna a consciousness? That's a simple question.
Consciousness is to a person, Prabhuji. For example, the difference between a dead body and a live body, that is consciousness, right? Krishna consciousness means we should be remembering Krishna all the time, keeping Krishna in the center, make our consciousness, because many times our consciousness is focused on what we like, right? For example, I like sweets, let's say. I'm always thinking about, so I'm sweet consciousness. Instead of that, we should become Krishna consciousness. That is different. So if you are asking me, is Krishna consciousness? No, Krishna is a person. We thinking about Krishna is our consciousness. Does it clear?
It's quite hard to understand, but can do so. Our goal should be to connect our consciousness toward the higher consciousness, which is Krishna.
So let's take the example of what's your daughter's name, Prabhu?
Krisha.
Trisha. Okay. So Trisha is a person, right? Am I saying her name right? Trisha?
Yeah. Krisha.
Okay. So Trisha is a person, right? When you think about her, you have consciousness about her. Correct?
Okay.
So now you are Trisha conscious. You're thinking about her. So same way, what Krishna consciousness means, Krishna is the person, the supreme personality of Godhead. And when we have consciousness about Krishna in everything we do, right, then it becomes, we are Krishna conscious.
I see. Yeah. Thank you so much. That does clear up a lot of things. Yeah. Thank you.
Prabhuji, I have another question. How can we get our conscious increased toward Krishna? Because we all are busy in our lives and are, think about so many things. How can we bring Krishna into the center?
So this is the practice, right? This is the practice which we are following. So how do we increase? So let us say you were about to get married to Abhinav Prabhu, right? You didn't know him, right? So now slowly you started to understand, okay, who is Abhinav Prabhu? Where does he live? Who are his parents? What does he like to eat? Where does he work? Right? Slowly you increased your consciousness about him, right? Because you had interest, you want to take more and more interest in this person. So same way, we all have our relationship with Krishna, which we have forgotten. Each one of us has a unique relationship with Krishna, but we have forgotten that. So how do we remember that? Slowly we have to keep, like, who is this person? Oh, he lives in Golok Vrindavan. Oh, Golok Vrindavan is like a lotus flower. What does he do when he wakes up in the morning? Oh, he goes out to take out cows. Okay. Like slowly we are trying to increase our consciousness about Krishna. And through Bhagavad Gita, when we read, Bhagavad Gita, when we actually read Srimad Bhagavatam, we try to increase our knowledge of Krishna. So now we are always constantly thinking about Krishna. So what Srila Prabhupada said is, whatever you are doing every day, like you are cooking, right? So when you're cooking, instead of cooking for, let's say, Abhinav Prabhu, you're saying, I'm going to help Radharani to cook for Krishna. And once Krishna is accepted, then that remnants we will eat. That is Krishna consciousness. In consciousness in which you are doing your activity becomes Krishna consciousness. Does that help?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for explaining.
Haribo. Okay, Prabhuji, let's continue.
Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the primeval Lord Govinda. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachinananda Vigra Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. It is very difficult for the non-devotees to know him. Although non-devotees declare that the path of bhakti or devotional service is very easy, they cannot practice it. If the path of bhakti is so easy, as the non-devotee class of men proclaim, then why do they take up the difficult path? Actually, the path of bhakti is not easy. The so-called path of bhakti practiced by unauthorized persons without knowledge of bhakti may be easy, but when it is practiced factually according to the rules and regulations, the speculative scholars and philosophers fall away from the path. Srila Rupa Goswami writes in his Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Shruti Smriti Pranadi Panchrata Vidhim Vina Alankiti Haher Bhaktir Upatalya Kalpate. Devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Purans, and the Narad Panchatantra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. It is not possible for the Brahmin realized impersonalist or the Paramatma realized yogi to understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the son of Mother Yashoda or the charioteer of Arjuna. Even the great demigods are sometimes confused about Krishna. Muhyanti yat sarya. Mantu ved na kaschan. No one knows me as I am, the Lord says. And if one does know him, then sa mahatma sa durlabha. Such a great soul is very rare. Therefore,
So,
unless
one thing, Prabhuji, here. So this is a very important point, right? Even the great demigods are sometimes confused about Krishna. And no one knows Krishna as he is. Can somebody give an example of a great demigod getting confused about Krishna?
Oh, I know.
Let's ask Pranav. We haven't heard from Pranav. So Pranav, can you give us an example of a demigod who sometimes got confused of Krishna?
Can I give another example after Pranav?
Yes.
I'll make up again.
Wait, Indra?
Indra, okay. What happened? Can you describe pastime?
So like for the Govardhan Hill, when Krishna suggested, instead of doing the normal Indra puja, Krishna suggested to do puja to Govardhan Hill because it provides the green grass for the cows and shelters Vrindavan. So the people agreed, but then Indra got mad, and then he started to pour rain all over Vrindavan, storms, and it was like flooding everywhere. And then Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill and provided shelter for everyone. And then Indra realized that he was the supreme personality of Godhead, and then Krishna forgave him.
Nice, very nice. Haribol.
Haribol.
So imagine this, right? Our great Indra, right, who is the king of heaven, right?
Right.
He forgot who Krishna is. His energy is coming from Krishna. He forgot Krishna. So the point which Srila Prabhupada is making here is, it is very, very difficult to know Krishna.
Because even the demigods are having trouble with it.
Even the great demigods sometimes get confused. So what about us, right? It comes back to Mataji's question, Renuka Mataji. How do we increase our Krishna consciousness? Okay, let's find out more. Let's read Prabhuji.
I know. Can I tell another example?
Okay.
Brahma.
Lord Brahma.
Yeah, when he showered, like when the calves got missing, and then Krishna actually first Subala went to try to find them, but he said he can't find them, so Krishna went and he tried to find them, and then purple dust went over. Like when Indra came, he put purple dust, and then Brahma, and then he took them to the cloudy place, and then when Krishna came back from searching with the cows, and then he called out all the names like Subala, where are you? And then he found the feather.
Yes. So see, in this case, Lord Brahma came and he was like, who was this small boy? Is this the Supreme Personality of Godhead? No.
Some magician. There must be some magician.
You know what? I can remember that also. A friend told him this has to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
We don't have to say the full story, but we get it. Everybody knows. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, so we have two examples now. Two wonderful examples. Great job, Parth. One example was Krishna, and the other example was Lord Brahma.
You mean
Brahma?
Lord
Indra and Brahma, right? Okay.
And also Krishna knows him so.
And Krishna is giving them all the energy, and still they have forgotten.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what Krishna does.
Let's continue now. Let's see what happens next. Yes, Prabhuji.
Therefore, unless one practices devotional service to the Lord, one cannot know Krishna as he is, Tatvata. Even though one is a great scholar or philosopher, only the pure devotees can know something of this inconceivable transcendental qualities in Krishna. His being the cause of all causes, his omnipotence and opulence, and his wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. Because Krishna is benevolently inclined to his devotees.
Okay, let's stop here. Let's stop here, Prabhuji. So, who can actually know Krishna?
Only pure
Only
devotees.
pure devotees. Why? Why pure devotees?
Because only the pure devotees know like what Krishna is and what opulences he has, and that he's the cause of all causes, and he's the transcendental Lord.
But how do they get to know this knowledge? Because Krishna is benevolently inclined to his devotees. What does benevolent mean? Does anyone know? Let's ask Priyanka. Can you give us a definition of benevolent?
Benevolent means like, I guess the most simple definition I can offer is like nice. He's nice to his devotees.
He's nice.
Kind.
Okay, let's.
Or prone to be kind to his devotees.
So let's see the definition, proper definition.
Yeah.
Okay. Well-meaning and kindly. He's kind to his devotees, right? Just like Priyanka said.
Merciful.
So Krishna is mercifully inclined to his devotees. Why is he merciful to his devotees?
Because they please him.
Because they please him. It comes back to this point of pleasing, serving Krishna, pleasing. Was somebody saying something? Okay. Danika, you were saying something?
No.
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Okay. Yes, Prabhuji.
He is the last word in Brahman realization, and the devotees alone can realize him as he is. Therefore, it is said, Ata Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved graham indriya sevana mukhe hi jiva adu swayam eva sfurthe ada. No one can understand Krishna as he is by the blunt material senses, but he reveals himself to the devotees, being pleased with them for their transcendental loving service unto him. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.2.234.
So we cannot understand Krishna with our material senses, right? Because our senses are so blunt. We are not able to, we don't even know what is happening in your house, right? What my house, I don't even know what's happening in the next room, right? With our blunt senses. How can we see who is Krishna, right? So what Krishna is explaining is nobody can understand Krishna except when he reveals himself to his devotees. How does he reveal? Through the disciplic succession.
Yeah,
So when we
being
serve,
pleased with them for the transcendental loving service.
correct. Yes. Okay. Yes, Priyanka.
Okay. I actually asked this question to Rompal Maharaj like a while back. I think like around like 2 years ago. But I want to hear your standpoint on it, Prabhuji. So, although we cannot understand Krishna by the blunt material senses, the blunt material senses is something that we have been using for like, a long period of time. We've been using our mind, we've been using like, our five senses for so long that we're so used to like using these in order to like, trying to do like, the different aspects of everyday life. Even though you were doing transcendental loving service unto him, how do you still acquire that I'm trying to word this properly. How do you still acquire that understanding even with our blunt material senses? How does that work?
We don't. So we're not able to understand Krishna with our blunt material senses. We can only understand Krishna when we get a spiritual so slowly our material body starts to get spiritual blood. How do we do that? By serving, so if you see in chapter 11, right, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna and Arjuna are on the battlefield, and Arjuna asks Krishna that I want to see your universal form, right? And what did Krishna say? You can't see with the eyes you have. Mm-hmm. How do you see him? He gave him divine eyes to see.
Because he asked, and he was his friend.
Correct. So that's, I would say that would be my take. But what did Maharaj say?
Oh, Maharaj says that, let's see, within the amount of times that, yeah, basically the same thing, like, as we are still material, Krishna consciousness is meant to spiritualize. So the more and more times that you do devotional service, and the more and more like you basically acquire that like transcendentalist mindset, you're slowly able to like change while your senses may not change so much, your understanding of Krishna definitely changes. And that's like one way you're able to still acquire that like transcendental energy or transcendental understanding. Because of your heart. Yeah, because of that knowledge. Yeah.
Bhakti Brahma, you want to add? Yes.
Yes, sir. So I think, so here in the last sentence, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, right? He says, but he reveals himself to the devotees, being pleased with them for the transcendental loving service to him. So unless Krishna gives that mercy, nobody can understand. So it's like sun is so powerful, we cannot see the glaring, right? But if we know sun god, if it's like, let's say if sun god is of my friend, and I can tell, can you please decrease the lighting? So then, because he is pleased with me, then he will decrease the lighting and he'll let me see him, right? So just giving an example. If I have that relationship with Krishna, he can show mercy and he will let us see him.
Nice.
Without mercy, we cannot see. So just some, example to correlate.
Yes, Parth.
So, what he was saying when he gave him the divine eyes, not just because he was his friend, because he was a pure devotee.
Correct. He was his friend and devotee, right? So again comes to mercy. See, there were so many people on the Kurukshetra battle.
Yeah.
right? But not everybody saw him,
He only showed it to one
right?
person.
Because he was his friend and devotee, and he was pleased with Arjuna. He was his dear friend.
Yeah, actually, he showed it to two people.
Who was his other person?
Starts the
Sanjaya.
Sanjaya. Yeah. But actually, I remember many demigods are also viewing
Demigods
the
also
same
saw.
vision,
Yes.
right, Prabhu?
Many demigods also saw that vision. Yes.
Different lokas, they were watching the same scene.
Okay.
No, I have a question.
Okay. Yes.
But if the demigods were seeing and they didn't have divine eyes, then how did they see?
They also got divine eyes. All of them got that mercy from Krishna to see.
Like Krishna didn't tell anyone, but he still gave them.
Because they had the desire. They had desire. Krishna is in everyone's heart.
Yeah.
He knows everyone what they're thinking, right? So Krishna knew their desires and he gave them those eyes. Okay, so we're almost at time. So let us do the Narsingha Arti and we'll all do it together. Is that okay? All right. Namaste Narasimhaya Karunadadarine Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha Shilpanakalahe Eko Narsingho Bhagato Narsingho Yatayamita Narsingho Vaishya Narsingho Hridaya Narsingho Narasimhadev Sharanam Prapade Sharanam Prapade Namah Singho Harita Hiranyakashipu Sarubhendam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jagadisha 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 Narahari Rupa Jagadisha Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Narsingha 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 Jaya Narsingha Jaya Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki jai, Bhad Maharaj ki jai, Tagore Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So before we end, I want to hear from everybody and one thing which you're going to take away from this class. We're going to start with, I'm seeing from my left to right. So we'll start with Abhinav Prabhu. One thing which stuck with you, which you're going to take away.
Among the thousands of devotees, Krishna only reveals himself to maybe one of them, and maybe one of them hardly knows Krishna.
Okay, nice.
I'll go first.
No, we have Renuka Mataji next.
So always try to be Krishna conscious and try to keep Krishna in your consciousness and always in center.
Okay, Vivan.
One thing I'm gonna take away is that even even right now we can't see Krishna, but only if Krishna is merciful unto us, then we can actually see him, and we have to please Krishna to make him pleased.
Yeah, to be merciful. Nice. Okay, Parth.
Your turn. Your
My
turn.
turn?
Your turn. Yeah.
My takeaway is I'm very grateful to see everyone here. That's my takeaway.
My takeaway is even if one person tries their best to get full get full mercy from Krishna, hardly even one knows Krishna.
Right? Okay. Okay, now I see Bhakti Priya Mataji.
For me, when you said that the flute, the sound vibration of the flute is the Hare Krishna mantra, I just wanted to remember that. I forgot from the last class, but I want to remember that and keep it.
Nice. Priyanka.
I'll think, but then Amma stole it, so then I think it's me.
Okay, in the meantime, Nanika is ready.
Okay.
Okay, Nainika.
You go.
Okay. So my favorite part was when you were like, so technically, when you're thinking of Krishna, you're in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prabhuji, while in the class, Nanika did this drawing.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Copied this from the, this.
That's so beautiful. You did it just during the class?
Yeah.
Oh, we have budding artists. That's amazing.
I'm also
I
Indian.
was looking down the entire time.
Wonderful. Okay, Deepti Mataji, did I get your name right?
Sure, I think whatever everyone is saying is Krishna is difficult. I mean, Krishna is really hard to, you cannot understand him and all. But I think, I mean, in this way, even Krishna is telling us a path, like how we can understand him. It's only for us, like we get to the path. I think that is what I understood.
Nice. Okay, Priyanka.
All right, I really liked your answer to my question where it was like about the whole how we are still able to like perceive Krishna even with our blunt senses at the moment. And like it's really interesting to think about that that we are like Auntie said, Mataji said that like we are blessed enough that Krishna is willing to offer this information about himself to us, which is cool.
Yeah, he's so merciful, right? Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Lalita Mataji.
To know Krishna more, we have to do loving service to him. Then we will know more.
Nice. Vishal.
We will lose everything we have right now in this life, except the spiritual advancement.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you. Okay, Lakshmi Mataji.
Yeah, so actually understanding Krishna is like, to get the Krishna consciousness is very difficult. It is not just by reading Bhagavad Gita or, any Vedic literature books or something. It is like, so, and it's hard to get his mercy also. It is not that if we do, we'll get it. It's the way we do, like he has to like it and we has to get into under his umbrella, then we will be see the actual consciousness of Krishna. So I see that part. It is like we have to please him in a way that he has to see us like and give us that chance that to go under him.
Nice. I have a question for you, follow-up question. So are you feeling motivated or are you feeling like, oh man, this is going to be hard?
No, not hard, but yeah. I mean, we need to get, always we say that it is tough to pull the time to, to do chanting or to do like hearing Krishna and all the time. But it is all in our hands. We have to take out the time and, start doing that.
Nice. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, let's move to Pranav.
So one thing I learned is that you should we should always serve Krishna, and like everybody said, to please him, and to keep him happy and in your mind, and think of him when you eat and do everything, and Krishna, and then we will be free from the cycle of birth and death, and we can be with Krishna forever.
Nice. Thank you. Sai Prabhu. And by the way, Pranav, we've been missing last class and this class your reading of Sanskrit. So maybe next
Your
time.
slokas, Pranav.
Slokas.
Yeah, she loved it.
We missed your slokas, Pranav.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll join next class because I'm pretty busy with electives and everything, because
Sure.
like we have to do all these forms. So I'll join next time.
Okay. Thank you, Pranav.
She's
Sai,
like
Cute, isn't he? He's busy with electives. He's prepared.
You're muted.
Sai Prabhu.
So my thoughts are like this: like, since we born as humans, we have certain limitations to understand this absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead. So these sages and saints from the thousands of years, they explained this absolute truth as a Krishna, a beautiful Krishna is there. So don't go too much into details. Who is the God? So Krishna is right there, and just enjoy, create a bond and emotion with him. And if you want to treat him like a child, treat like a Yashoda Mata. When you want to treat him like a friend, treat him like a Radha Mata. Create a bond and emotion, and enjoy the essence of the Krishna, and that gives you a bliss, happiness. The ultimate thing is, be with Krishna. That's it. Yeah.
Wow, so beautiful. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing that. Mithil Bhai.
Krishna is kind.
Haribol.
I just want to keep chanting his name. That's all.
Jai. Haribol. Thank you, Prabhu. Mummy. You're muted.
First of all, I would like to thank you for the wonderful and awesome class. And with all, very good devotees, I learned such a lot actually. And to come closer to Krishna, my take is that, keep serving and be good and do good. Thank you very much.
Nice. Haribol. And last is, but not the least, Papa. And you have to unmute yourself.
Dadu, you have to unmute.
Yeah.
Dadu, unmute.
He's
Hare
unmuted.
Krishna to all. I couldn't be there all through, so I just came in and went out for some time. So I have not been able to go through completely. But one thing is that you need to probably have perseverance in doing things in all the things which you do it in a day in good mode. So probably with that, there will be definitely be realization one day that Supreme Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And if you, I think, make efforts and then continue to, remember him with all piousness, definitely you will have some, spirituality and you will get some kind of a, knowledge and spiritual knowledge to at least realize who is Lord Krishna. And probably with that, I think there will be an enhancement in your spiritual path.
Nice. So this reminds me of, that wonderful pastime of how Krishna was bound by Mother Yashoda, right? But Mother Yashoda was not able to bind Krishna. Every time she tried to bind, it was 2 fingers short.
2 inches.
2 fingers.
2 fingers or 2 inches?
Now let's complete. It's a little late, so I'll say the pastime, then we'll complete.
No, I'm not going to say the pastime. I want to say something about the pastime.
Okay, tell me.
So, good that you brought it up. So, about the pastime, Krishna had to give his mercy, so then, Mother Yashoda could bind.
So that was one.
No.
So there were two fingers short. 1 finger was Krishna had to give mercy. Only then Mother Yashoda could tie Krishna. What was the second finger?
I don't know.
It comes to what Papa was saying. Endeavor. We have to do our endeavor. Mother Yashoda was trying. She kept getting ropes again and again from everybody.
Gopis.
So we have to do our endeavor. We have to persevere. We have to with determined effort. We have to keep doing. And one day Krishna will see our endeavor, and then he will give his mercy. So let's stop here. Thank you for everybody for joining, and wish you all a very blissful weekend. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.